Yeah, part of me feels bad about using ad blockers because I know a lot of websites like really depend on that. It sucks. I guess the one that I think of the most is like Cracked, because I think a lot of the reasons that Cracked kind of underwent all of the changes that it did was because like they didn't make any money. Like they were free articles. And if like everyone used ad blockers, like the ad revenue to the website was the only reason that it was able to stay up. So like that's why like Michael Swaim, Dan O'Brien, like all those guys ended up.
Left.
Yeah. Well, I think some of them left. I think some of them were like fired because.
Oh, like the company
I think for
made cuts.
Yeah, because I think for a while it was literally just like David Wong, like running everything. Because like Jack O'Brien left. To do he did like a podcast now. I think he left to do that, and then like I saw another video that someone was like goodbye Cracked, and it was like another guy who like revitalized their video shit, and then apparently he got let go too. So
yeah,
it just kind of blows.
Yeah,
I think they were also a victim to like apparently years ago. Christ. Facebook was like, video is the future, and video on Facebook is the future.
Yeah.
And then it didn't translate to anything, and like all the numbers were juiced.
Yeah.
So like all those videos converted all their shit to Facebook, and it didn't work. And like Funny or Die, like all those video websites just tanked.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the internet's just becoming more and more of a monopoly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you have like 4 websites to go to, and that's it.
Yeah, which like on the one hand is like it is a dichotomy of like, or I guess it's just there's like pros and cons to it, because like on one hand I do like that kind of like everything is like on YouTube. You don't have to go to like all this different shit, but at the same time it's just like. It's depressing from a like person
like
standpoint. I don't know, like
well, it's like as people trying to like break into that creative space too, it's like it doesn't seem like there's any way for anything to like organically be seen by a lot of people. It's sometimes I say this, or I think about this a lot, but like I miss the older, meaner internet when not everyone was, because everyone's like corralled into these 4 different platforms. And it's like there used to be just like forums. I kind of miss forums.
Yeah, I
like,
do too.
Did we talk about the Zappa forums closing?
Forums. Maybe.
Because like every once in a while I would get the urge to like go to the Zappa forums and like reread my old posts from like 2008, and I would go to the Zappa forums, and the people that were active back then and before would still be like pretty active, like people who've like basically known each other for like 20 years. Like the Zappa, like there were posts dating back to like 2003 on the Zappa forums.
Damn.
And in July they nuked them. They're like gone.
Oh shit! Like completely.
Which is just weird, because like I can't imagine knowing people on a forum that I go to every day and chat with for like 20 years, and then just one day it's gone.
Yeah, like people were, for real.
I mean, honestly, it's probably like a dedicated group of like 30 people that were really posting a lot.
Yeah.
But it's like, I looked at it, I was like, holy shit, this guy's still posting. I remember like talking to this dude in 2008 when I was an annoying,
oh really,
like high schooler.
That's cool, man. I couldn't imagine going back to like getting nostalgic over posts over like from 2008 or whatever. I feel like that's what's turned me into such a recluse online is like the horrors of my past of being a little kid and posting on. For me, it was like video game websites like Game Facts or whatever.
Oh,
that's probably what I was most like. That's what I most frequently used, and yeah, just like dumb shit. I would ask what bump means or like stuff like that. I remember that one in particular.
Why do you guys keep saying bump? I don't get it. Who's bumping?
So I like self-inflicted trauma to turn me into somebody who like then like when I started Reddit, it was literally just to like, I mean, still cringy, but I wasn't gonna put that out there, but like I created my Reddit account to finish my Pokédex in Pokemon Y, and like I used it for that, and I was like, okay, trade for trade, because that's what you do on the Reddit. Is like if you need to fill in a thing, and then you can do like Wi-Fi trading or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just be like, do that, and I'm like, okay, boom. I'm not gonna join anything. I'm not gonna communicate with people. I don't want to have any record.
I kind of did that with Animal Crossing, the newest one. Yeah. There was like a couple subreddits that I joined that were literally like turnip sales.
Oh yeah,
so I would do that. It's like Timmy and Tommy are buying turnips at like 500 bells, and I'd be like, hell yeah, let me come to your island.
Yeah, I'm aware of the turnip racket.
I bought an app.
Oh,
there
really?
It was like a more broad Animal Crossing app. Like you could track your villagers, and it was kind of like a Wikipedia style app where like you could look at all the fish and the bugs and like the seasons. But it also had like a turnip stocks calculator where like you could put what day you bought it and how much you bought them for, and like you could input the prices that you have to go each day, morning and afternoon or whatever, when they have like. And like it would basically try to predict what day would be your best day to sell them.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like $1.99. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. This is kind of cool.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I haven't touched that game in like almost a year now.
I still play it from time to time, but I also got into it like a year after, or like 2 years after everyone else. So.
Yeah. This was like one of the last days that like we were walking around without masks. I think like that March, like early March, I think I got the last copy of Animal Crossing at the Target. Like it had been wiped out. It was nuts.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, to bring it back full circle though, the Cracked forums they ended a few years ago. The forums still exist, but now it's just like a writer's workshop where like people pitch articles and like, get feedback. Yeah. But they had more broad forums. But they incorporated Reddit-like elements where you could downvote or upvote like a person based on their comments on the forum, and it was terrifying.
Like like their profile, like the whole.
Yeah, so you'd see you'd see the body of the text, and then you'd see their icon, their little fun quote or whatever, and then there would be like a number. Yeah. It'd be like, positive this, negative whatever. And like, I don't know why I was so susceptible to that, why it worked on me the way that it did. But like, I would like, if I commented on anything, well, one, it's like, it's a community that I hadn't been there a long time. Mm-hmm. So I was like, every post I made, I was terrified. And like, I would rewrite it and reread it in my head and be like, oh, people are going to misinterpret the tone. And then I would like get a downvote. I'm like, this, I can't do it. I'm done. I can't do it. All right. I think even like David Wong himself, I think, replied to me once and it was like negative, and I was like, no.
Oh damn. Yeah, that's a guillotine. If it's,
I was like, no, he hates me.
That's like, people always say this anyways, but that's literally an episode of Black Mirror.
Like, yeah, no, for real. It's like but there were some people that had like negative like 1,000.
Oh.
And I think at that point they kind of wore it as like a badge of pride. Like, honestly, I got hot takes and bad opinions.
Yeah.
And like, I don't care if you downvote me for them.
Yeah.
I'm still that way about like Discord. Like, there's a few podcast community Discords that I'm in that I'm not super active in, but every once in a while I'll pop my head in and like comment on something or say something, and I'm just like, everyone's gonna hate me for this for some reason. Everyone's gonna think that I'm dumb for saying this. It's so stupid.
It is, but it is also extremely. Yeah, it's just, it is really easy to get. It's like, it's gamifying like socializing or whatever. It's
yeah.
it's pretty fucked.
I wish we could go back to the years of 2003 when there were only just video games about skipping stones.
Speaking of games, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Then I got it.
I watched it this morning. I'm hot.
All right. Okay. Welcome back to There Will Be Duds, ladies and gents. This is episode 86, and I am your co-host, TJ, a.k.a. Jace Project Cheese, and with me, as always,
I am Nick, a.k.a. Dr. Funk on Twitch.
And as always, we watched a movie, that movie being Quigley from 2003, directed by William Byron Hillman. It stars Gary Busey, the inimitable Gary Busey, who is a businessman who doesn't care about his family and stuff, and then he dies and is sent back to Earth as a dog, a little white Pomeranian, and he is sort of given a chance at redemption by he has to like do two good deeds kind of to redeem his soul. It's not
messy,
super laid out great, but it's basically like any sort of, family man or like business dad, who learns the true meaning of love and shit. It's it's that kind of thing. It's your Santa Clauses, it's your
Jack Frost,
that kind of stuff.
meets it's a Wonderful Life too with Oz Perkins.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Only he sucks ass.
His weird, I don't really know what they were going for with his character. And like in regards to the other movies that it's very reminiscent of, or even The Shaggy Dog, also with Tim Allen.
Oh yeah.
Or Nine Lives with Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that comparison as well.
Some of the scenes in particular, and like the dialogue and like exposition, it almost like if this was played a little differently, I would be like, somebody would like, oh yeah, it's a parody. It's like a Scary Movie type parody of those movies. Like, it is so direct sometimes with some of the dialogue of like, but I don't talk to my brother. The last time I did, he laughed in my face. Oh man, I just wish then she's like, you need to finish your video game. Nah, nobody's gonna believe me. I'm gonna go back to work at the factory again. Like,
it's all the jobs are vague. Like, I gotta go back to the office or the factory. None, like, it's all very nondescript in that way.
Even the main business, like that Gary Busey works at, and then where they bring the video game where it comes back around at the end. They work in technology. They say that over and over again. It's like, it's technology, and they're like, yeah, and then like at the end, the Curtis Armstrong, Gary Busey's like right hand man or whatever. He's like, yes, we do. Yeah, his partner. Yeah. He's like, yes, we do work in technology, but we also work in video games. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even the fact that, because I was just like, yeah, okay, this is a vague office building. They do vague office stuff, because the whole time I don't think anyone works. They just walk around, because like all the shots of it's like exposition shots of like. It's all exposition shots. It's people with briefcases kind of walking down corridors. Like, no one actually does anything there.
Yeah.
And there's a few lines that I'll let you say the one in your Letterboxd review, because I read that and I was waiting for it to happen, and it was perfect. But like, there are some lines that are so stilted and weird. Like, where is my prized virtual reality CD-ROM? They call them CD-ROMs a lot. And it's like, this is 2003. I don't like CD calling it a CD-ROM. That seems very like, this is the Windows 95 operating system. This is your CD-ROM.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like they're
the
reading an instruction manual.
Yeah.
For like how to
Because like Windows XP was out at this point in time. Like computers were like pretty mainstream. The internet was pretty mainstream. Like no one calls them CD-ROMs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then to find out that his brother also makes video games.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, just
she's like, your sensational video games.
Yeah.
He envisioned our interactive games to perform like no others. He saw the AC Diamex with the dual pads and the triple joysticks to be playing in every home in America.
Well, I mean, they are really fun to play. You know, when you have to drop one joystick and just as quickly pick the other one up again. I mean, you can't help but become completely obsessed with this game.
Exactly.
It's just, none of it seemed real at all.
I will say that the final 10-20 minutes is for a lot of the movie, I wasn't like it wasn't like laugh out loud. Like I wasn't I'm like, I guess overall I'm like a little mixed on like
Daughter Spud.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
But I would say like the last 10-20 minutes I was like laughing out loud like pretty consistently, just because of how they went like when Gary Busey, the dog Quigley, like steals the CD and he like puts it in and he's like giving it a test run or whatever, and it's just
and the game knows to call him Archie.
Yeah, unless, or is that a thing of like his brother? Because his brother made it. Do you think
But they don't have a good relationship, so I feel like he wouldn't want to put his
that's true, but
brother
I thought,
that he doesn't like in there.
I might be giving it too much credit. It probably is what you said, but I was like, oh, maybe it's like
the game is haunted.
No, like they don't have a good relationship, but that's like his brother being like, oh, I still love my brother, you know, this is like for, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, no, yeah. That would be like a good, like heartfelt moment where he's like, oh, my brother does care about me.
Yeah.
But no, we don't. There's not even any like Gary Busey as the dog internal monologue, which I figured there would be some of that, but it's like, I think Gary Busey, okay. Did Gary Busey get in like a drunk driving accident, or did he like expose himself in public and he had to do this movie as community service? Because that's what it feels like. This feels like you either go to jail or you do Quigley. And he's like, I'll do Quigley, I guess. And the first scene, he slips on shit and just bites it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm in for this ride.
Yeah, I don't know. It does seem like script wise it's pretty awful, and I mean everything wise it's pretty awful. But like I'm like, could it be like on set you're like, oh yeah, this will be like, you know, a good like family movie, like a good kids movie. And maybe I feel like maybe sometimes adult like it can be kind of difficult for, you know, an actor to be like, I don't know if this is gonna be good or not. It's for kids, you know. It's like, maybe I don't know.
Yeah, because this isn't focus on the family, but apparently they are quoted on it saying like a good time. Did you guys ever have those focus on the family videos? I feel like we've talked about this before.
Maybe. What did they do in particular? I know it's like Christian or whatever.
They're all they're all direct to VHS videos. God,
did they do like Left Behind?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think they did those ones. I feel like there was like an animated penguin one, but I think that might be something else. It's like,
no way. Scamper the Penguin?
Is Scamper a focus on the family?
I don't know, but you said animated penguin movie, and that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, Scamper is one. It's focus on the family videos. I'm trying to see. Oh, they have a YouTube page. Shit. All right. But I just remember, because I feel like there was like some sort of like video, like you could order them. And I think my mom and dad got a few of them. VHS tapes. Let's see if that brings up anything. I feel like McGee and Me. That was. Do you remember?
Oh yes, yeah. I really liked McGee and Me. Yeah.
There's Story Keepers. Yeah, a lot of McGee and Me.
Yes.
Adventures in
Odyssey. That's the other one I was gonna say. Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
I really liked those actually as a kid.
Wasn't Adventures in Odyssey like a radio drama? I think it might have been initially.
So. I think it might have
like
been.
my parents used to listen to like WCSG in the car, which is like the Christian radio station around here.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like, yeah, it would be Adventures in Odyssey. Yeah, McGee and Me as well. Oh my God, this is.
Yeah, we had.
This
a
is
couple
bringing
tapes
me
of
back.
both of those. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is so this is not Focus on the Family. This is Dove. No association with the chocolate.
I just want to say, Adventures in Odyssey is still active. It's still going.
Oh my God, that's
1987
crazy.
to present. There's 879 radio episodes.
Holy
That's
shit.
insane.
That is wild. But yeah, for being produced by like a Christian video operation, it seemed pretty light on the Jesus stuff. Like they're like Gary Busey like did not read like directly from scripture at all, like these movies tend to do.
Yeah.
Where he'll just like say someone will ask him a question and then he'll just be like, I'm trying to do my Gary Busey, but I'm just doing Diving Bell.
Yeah.
But it's like his voice is terrifying. But his like this husky sort of like southern like ramble.
Whatever that is, yeah.
And there will be immediate raises for every employee that has a job well done. And I'm beginning this right now, our profit sharing program. So all employees can be rewarded for their loyalty.
But it's like, he doesn't read directly from scripture at all to these kids. And it's like, yeah, there's heaven in it, but that's kind of a trope.
Heaven and hell are both like, they're just in stuff. And like, It's a Wonderful Life. There's like angels, but that's not like a Christian movie.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Did you read the notes on the Wikipedia page for Quigley?
I did, yeah.
About Gary Busey's interpretation of the heaven set?
Yeah.
And how he didn't like the set because it did not look like what he saw when he had a near-death experience.
Yeah.
That is you'd think that Gary Busey is like, it's like one of those movies where, I think we've talked about it before, it's like, they do that with these Christian movies. It'll be like Christopher Lloyd is on the cover, or Ray Liotta's on the cover, and he's in it for like 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know, and it's like, that's how they sell the movie. It's like, oh shit, yeah, I know that guy, and then he shows up to give like sage advice, and then he's gone for the rest of the movie. This seems like a Gary Busey movie where it's like, this is just a paycheck, I'm doing a thing for doing things for the kids, whatever. I don't care. This isn't like Buddy Holly or like any sort of like, but it's just the fact that like he shows up on this kids movie set. Like, it's a talking dog movie, and he's like, that's not what heaven looked like. And then like gets actively mad about it.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
It's like, it's the most Gary Busey thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see Random Woman in Heaven?
Random Woman in Heaven? No, I didn't.
The first time you see heaven, it's like, it looks like that putting green, like fake grass, and there's like a bench that they're all sitting on, and it's all lit angelic and shit. And there's just like a woman in like a vest and a dress that just kind of walks in and then leaves. Like they shot it in an office space, but she's just like there. Is she like the secretary of heaven?
Okay.
They like, no one acknowledges her. I was just like, what's this lady doing here? It was so bizarre.
Yeah, well, it's like mentioning the set of heaven. It's funny you say that, because if you look at the IMDb trivia, the top thing is, according to the DVD extras, Gary Busey helped decorate some of the sets. Was that set heaven?
Oh.
Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah. where they just like he was just so unrelenting about it that he's like, all right, fine, you can do the set a little bit.
Yeah, and it goes a little more into the argument. It says his fit of anger about the set became a fist fight when another actor who also claimed to have seen the real Heaven disagreed with Busey's description. And production was shut down for the day.
They shut the production down for the day?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I love this because I was wondering the same thing. Because I thought it was funny that they point that out. But Curtis Armstrong, Dexter, is that his name? His partner.
Yeah.
His character says his age is 35, while the real actor was 50 at the time of filming.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm pretty sure that guy's not 35.
This is not a good way for me to celebrate my 35th birthday, Sarah.
He's a Western Michigan alum.
Oh, I don't know if I knew that. I know that guy from other stuff.
Yeah.
Like some stuff from the 80s, but I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he was in Revenge of the Nerds and like Risky Business.
Yeah,
yeah. But yeah, apparently he went to WMU. He's born in Detroit, and then he went to the Academy of Dramatic Arts in Oakland and Rochester. So that's kind of cool. Little Michigan guy.
Interesting.
The whole Guardian Angel shit was weird because
what was the point?
Yeah, because his whole thing was that like he couldn't help him.
Yeah.
But then it's like, so what are you doing here?
Yeah, he's just like, I'm just an observer. Like,
yeah.
What, like God can't see? Isn't he omniscient?
Yeah, because like I feel like they were trying to go for some sort of like It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah, like he's got to get his wings.
Yeah.
But it's, I guess you can't pratfall your way into heaven, I guess.
It felt really choosy, or like it was like, I can't help you, and yet I'm kind of going to, or I am going to like influence some things. Like he was like his owner on Earth, he's like walking with him, and then at the end he like comes and takes him out and stuff. Very little interaction, but still. And there's a lot of inconsistency over like the rules, I think.
Oh yeah.
Of like that, and also like how the dog stuff worked, because sometimes you would just see Gary Busey just kind of walking around on two legs, and then other times it was like he would be crawling around, or he'd be like, oh, that really hurt my knee or my legs, I had to lift my leg to pee or whatever. It's like, wait, so then that makes you think like, okay, so he's actually doing all this shit. And then you think like when the little girl finds him and he like jumps on her and he's licking her face, and I was like, so I have to picture Gary Busey licking this little girl's face.
Yeah.
Or like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's so weird. And like to him,
Quigley's got a red rocket.
And like to him and Oz Perkins, he's still himself. So how, I don't know. I just don't know how.
Yeah, it's wild.
I don't know how that shit translates. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Oh, the trailer's playing on IMDb, and it's just half the trailer is Oz Perkins just like face diving into the ground.
Yeah.
Just eating shit.
They definitely thought that was like that was the best joke of the movie, and they're like face planting. They're like, yes, it's a solid script.
Yeah. Well, like the rest of the humor was like borderline, like experimental, strange. Like the two security guards that are just like,
oh yeah,
like they
Bill
are just
Fagerbaki. That was another little cameo.
Yeah, which like SpongeBob had been out for like
couple
4 or
years.
5 years at this point in time. So it's like, what are you doing? Is this like a passion project? Because I feel like, I don't know, he doesn't really, I guess he's in a few things. He doesn't really do like live action shit.
No, not too much. He was in How I Met Your Mother. That's probably the thing he's most well known for, live action, I would say. He's Jason Segel's dad in that show.
Oh, okay.
This is kind of like a prominent part.
What else do we got here?
Oh, when I know sometimes it was a sound effect, but they're like at the beginning, well, like when he first like turns into the dog, and I think it's Oz Perkins is talking to him. He's like, okay, practice your bark, and then he does it, and I'm like, I don't know if that might have been Gary Busey. I couldn't tell if it was Gary Busey or.
I think the first one was, and then there was like the weird part where he hugs him, and I think that might have been ADR'd. I wonder if they just took the first bark and just like, applied it.
That was all right.
Of course, he can like do an accurate dog bark.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Of course
he
he
communicates. Were you laughing at his brother's name too? Woodward.
Woodward.
Oh, I didn't even his first name. Dexter and Woodward and SpongeBob.
Yep. Oh.
Oh my fuck! I wish I could. I don't remember like the line, but and this wasn't the only time that this happened, but like holy fucking like we go from. I'm editing the host episode right now, and I just got past the mark in the episode where I'm talking about how great the editing is in that movie, like how fantastic I think the like action editing is in that, and then like we come to the opposite end of the spectrum with this movie. It's insane the differentiation, because there's like the scene in particular that I'm thinking of. I'm pretty sure the whole family talking at the dinner table. And then the wife brings up the video games. And then the dad's like, I don't want to bother with those stupid things. And then it cuts back to the wife. And it is like they're in the bedroom. And it's like nighttime. And they're like continuing the conversation. It's so weird.
I mean, it would be a pay cut. So it's not going to work out.
Look, everything will work out when you finish your new video game.
Look, that's never going to happen. There's just not enough time in the day.
Your video games are sensational.
I didn't, because like I had again, sort of similar to the host in some ways. I was like, what is time right now? Because they took a note out of the Ungrateful Dead playbook and like just like shot it at night to make it seem like it was like it's the morning still. Yeah. But yeah, because like the daughter goes missing also, and I was like, how long was she out there? Because I think she goes missing like right after that. So it's like they're talking in the morning, and then it's like I was like, isn't it dark? What's going on?
Yeah.
And then like the daughter goes missing. I was like, is this the next morning? Is this still the same day?
Yeah.
Because it's strange.
Yeah. Yes, and then around that part when because I think it is when he goes to go like find the daughter, and this happens a couple times because there's another song in the credits like this too, but like the songs that were like the lyrics were we're
matching what's going on.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna rise up and I'm gonna save the day.
Yeah, but then the girl goes missing and like the song takes a minor key. And she's like, "Where am I going? What's happened to me?" It's like, oh no, she's lost now.
Yeah, I think there's even a line that's like, "What are you gonna do when you're just a dog?" So like there's like those songs with like lyrics that are written for the movie, and then the rest of the music is just like what you would put on like your YouTube or TikTok videos now. That generic. Yeah, it's literally like you type in upbeat or bluesy or sad or the
dramatic
YouTube library stuff.
Like all of the music in that is exactly like that kind of shit. And I like how when he gets captured by this maniacal dog catcher guy from Animal Control, it's like there's so many opportunities that could have made this actually funny, because it's like it's playing like a little bluesy number because it's like, oh, the dogs are in jail. It's like you could have given Quigley like a little harmonica. That would have been funny. It's
that'd have
like,
been
you know,
awesome.
Quigley's like, woo, he's playing a little harmonica because he's trapped in the jail cell.
Yeah.
It's like so many opportunities to like have actual jokes, and they just don't.
That would have been, that would have been good.
Because their sense of humor, I mean, it is a kid's movie, so it's like poo poo and pee pee and falling down.
Yeah.
Like that's you know, that's the highest brow of humor for this.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% forgot about the dog catcher side. That like side plot that's like 3 minutes of the movie. That's such a weird.
He's got a skunk for some reason.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But it doesn't really go anywhere, because it's like he's kind of walking towards the camera with the skunk, and you're like, is Quigley gonna get sprayed by a skunk? Like, what's gonna happen? But
it just has
the
one.
joke is it's a skunk and they smell like poo poo.
Oh yeah, that's I almost like wrote down a note of that. It's just like he's just holding it. It's just like
he's like he's doing the earnest. He's like,
yeah, yeah, pretty much. I want it back to the I mean, we kind of are like towards ending too, but like since I was saying that was like my favorite bit. So like, yeah, you get the reveal of like what the video game is, and like holy
it's so
shit.
bad.
Holy shit. It's so bad. And then he takes
this is
it
the best
to the
video
place.
game I've ever seen.
It's the best video game ever.
Everything we make is trash compared to this.
This is the best game I've ever played. I mean, it's far better than anything we've ever developed.
That's what I was like. I was fucking dying. And then also like, or right before that, they like go into the little boy's room and they're talking to him, and he has a fucking Hawaiian Punch poster behind his bed.
I saw that. It must have been shit they had on set that day. Like, how do we got to decorate this kid's room? What do we got?
Or Hawaiian Punch. Or that was their only sponsor for the movie. Hawaiian Punch.
That could have been it too. Yeah. Yeah, the reveal of the game was incredible.
Yeah, and just the whole resolution, and then Gary Gary Busey goes back to heaven, and then God's like, no one gets any second chances after he just got his second chance. That's
like the scripture-y shit. You don't get into heaven on good deeds alone.
That's right.
Which is like,
yeah.
And I'm like, yep, okay, I know that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
There was like, that one line, and then maybe Gary Busey says something after that, and I was like, oh, that felt really Christian movie. And then I was like, oh, it is a Christian, like it's produced by. But I was like, just those. But yeah, God says like, nobody gets second chances or whatever, but like he literally just gave him a second chance because he goes back and he gets to live again. And then he shows up at his brother's house, and he's like the brother's like, oh, where have you been, or what are you doing? And Gary Busey's like, I just came out of a never-ending nightmare. Like really dark shit, and they just push right past it. They're like, okay, all right,
yeah, sure, because I feel like they were trying to do the Ebenezer Scrooge thing.
Yeah,
like
that's
at the end,
yep.
When he like goes to Bob Cratchit's house, and he's like, hold on, I'm gonna protect Bob Cratchit.
Yeah,
and he's like, there's some weird cuts there too, where it's like when he first shows up to the family, the wife is like looking at him like this, like she's pissed at him, and then he like kind of explains himself and tells him like, oh yeah, I've had a change of heart, I'm changing, I want to help you guys out. She goes over and hugs him, and then she goes back to stand with her kid, and I feel like they shot the sequence out of order, because after she hugs him and goes back to stand, and he's like talking to them, she's still standing there, like with her arms crossed, like she's mad. It's like they hadn't filmed the hug yet.
That.
So it was like weirdly inconsistent. Like she hugged him, and then it was like still pissed.
Oh yeah, I didn't catch that. That's funny. And then he brings them a little little Pomeranian
little
puppy. Yeah. To show kids that dogs can be replaced as long as they look the same. I took great offense to that. Personally, that offended me.
It would have been funny if they're like, well, you can't get into heaven on good deeds alone, and then they pulled the big lever and he just goes to hell anyway.
That would have been sweet.
Maybe that's Quigley too.
Yeah. There was like a half second where I was like, oh, so yeah, he's like not going back, or like, yeah, that's it. Like, because he said you don't get second chances, right? But then, but then they do. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, for being like a Christian children's movie, I feel like you're getting a lot of mixed messages here.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's maybe more accurate than most Christian movies, because that's kind of what the Bible is. Also, I got a kick out of the fact that his brother drove the exact same car that I had for a few years. It was a 2003 Saturn Vue, and it was gray, just like mine.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do we got here? The kid acting was, it was fine, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I've seen worse, I guess.
Yeah, it is quite remarkable how much Oz Perkins looks like his dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like there were a few shots where I feel like it was supposed to be uplifting of like him as the guardian angel, like
just like Norman Bates.
But it was like the ending of Psycho when Norman Bates is like staring into the camera and smiling. I was like, maybe don't do that shot.
Yeah, that's funny.
I thought Dexter was his brother. I don't know why I thought that.
I did too. I do, but I don't want to go back and like check, because
to see if there's like a line that maybe didn't get edited out, or like they made changes. I definitely thought they were siblings.
And then, but then it goes to his other brother. What are you doing?
Is it Quigley?
No. But yeah, then when it gets to his other brother, or his real brother or whatever, then I was like, okay. And maybe it's only because I was paying more attention to it, but they like only refer to Dexter as his partner from then on. And I was like, they weren't doing that the whole time. I was like, this movie is gaslighting me right now.
Well, I think at the end, when he's kind of had his like Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come moment, where he's like, okay, I gotta go and like right the wrongs. I think he said he calls him partner because I think he's like, it's like when you're in a law firm, it's like, I'm making you partner.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you kept referring to him, but.
No, I know that, but I was thinking in my head, I was like, yeah, but he wasn't saying that before because he was calling him his brother, not that. Like,
oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. And then the weird like, I feel like they were trying to do like some sort of romance with the office lady character that didn't really go anywhere.
For some reason, yeah.
Because like I was like, oh, is she gonna take the dog home, and then she's gonna fall in love with the dog, and then she's gonna find out that it's actually Archie. But then it was like Dexter and her were like being like weirdly romantic. Because I think I wrote down, I was like, is Dexter gonna get cucked by this dog?
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I kind of forgot about that.
Well, that's like they're gone for half the movie. The first like 20 minutes is like his technology video game shit with Dexter, and then he gets his guardian angel. There's like some hijinks at the place, and then like the rest you don't even see him till like the very end of the movie when he takes the CD-ROM of his video game, his only copy. You moron.
Yeah.
You don't have that shit backed up at all. What are you doing? Also, I don't know, it's funny that he's like a video game developer, and he just has like one of those huge like boxy old school like Macs. That's like that's his rig for video game development.
Yeah. I mean, considering like what they think is the best video game of all time, I don't like put much stock in,
yeah.
Like, yeah.
That MS Paint looking piece of shit.
Yeah. That is like MS Paint done on like a cell phone screen blown up to to like a full.
It looks
computer
like
screen.
the animation style of those the dinner tonight Shrek videos on YouTube.
That exactly what it looks like. Yeah.
Like when their arm, like pixel arm moves, like you can see like the weird like
separation,
aberrations.
Yep.
You got to say the line. You got to say the Shakespearean line because it's great.
Oh, I'm gonna fuck it up now. What am I to do now that I'm Quigley? That's how I keep saying it.
Yeah, that's how he's like Quigley.
Quigley. It's like
it's almost Trumpian. He's like, it's Quigley.
Yeah.
Quigley's
Quigley.
a dog.
It's that like
He's a little dog.
where you like
you
finish the word by doing this.
It's Quigley. Yeah, it's a secret.
What do I do now that I'm Quigley?
You got me.
Yeah,
Did
a
you-
very weird like postmodernist question, like a very like philosophical.
Did you like stop it right as the credits went, or did you like kind of link? Because I often just do that, like especially with these, I'll like maybe add in some final notes as like the credits run, and like they do the thing that you'll see in a movie where it'll be like Gary Busey as Archie, and then
Yeah,
it'll,
and
like
they'll
show
play
a
a
clip
clip,
from the
yeah.
movie, and then it fucking did that with like everybody.
Yeah, it did.
Like it went down to like hospital nurse, like the chick that like
Yeah.
pushes him out on the wheelchair and is in the movie for like 5 seconds, and then like
Cop number one.
yeah, woman on street,
Yeah.
outside hospital nurse. It
Oh
like
my
differentiates. Insane.
Like too many cooks. Like
Yeah.
it's the same.
Yeah,
the
pretty much.
Hospital nurse on her.
Yeah. I think that's all I got. That's all my
Yeah.
notes pretty much. Other than just how like misshapen Gary Busey looks in his business
Yeah.
suit, and how weirdly he just moves around.
Yeah, I'm trying to see when was Lost Highway.
And then you get to see him in that dog collar on his knees.
Okay, Lost Highway was 97. So this is like 5
6
or so.
years, 5,
6
6
years. Yeah. 'Cause, yeah, he's in it very briefly.
And is he looking a lot better?
Yeah, he plays a character's dad, and he looks pretty normal, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't like try to rag on his appearance too much because like I think he got into an accident and like he wasn't wearing a helmet on a motorcycle or something, and his skull got like reshaped. So like that's kind of why he's got that weird like jaw thing.
I meant like him like in the suit.
Oh, in the
like,
suit, yeah, very like David Byrne, like he's swimming in it.
Yes, that's what I thought of. His arms looked tiny and his torso looked huge. It's like he's wearing his dad's business suit.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah,
We're good?
yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Then I think it's
Is it on me?
I think so. Could be wrong,
Okay.
but I think it's on you.
Oh, this is tough because I think this might be a dud. Hey, there he is. Is that a Pomeranian?
No, he's an American Eskimo.
Oh, okay.
But he's very similar, just a little bigger.
Yeah, he's big Quigley. He's bigly.
He's got a
He's bigly.
snaggle tooth.
Oh,
He's got Kermit mouth a lot of the time. That's like, yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, one of our cats has a snaggle tooth too, and he'll lay on his back, and you can look down, and you can like see his 2 teeth sticking out. He looks very sus. Can you see me? I don't know if you can
I don't know.
conceptualize.
Albus.
He's like, no.
I don't think so.
Did he come
Rhea's,
in?
like,
Did he
our
come
only-
in?
No, Kalia like pushed him in.
Oh.
Just like shoved him over.
This is the pet review. I'm not reviewing the movie anymore. I'm just reviewing your pets.
Yeah.
I like your cat up there, just like squirming around and
just loving it. Yeah, she loves that thing.
Oh, it's the best shit. I think this is a dud. I mean, there were some parts that were bafflingly funny. Like there were glimpses of that so bad it's good quality.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say like the parts where Gary Busey was on screen were pretty good, just because it's so funny to see him play it straight, being like, "Yeah, I'm Quigley. I got turned into a dog."
Yeah,
like with that husky, gravelly tone that he's got. Like know, he's like, I mean, he's pretty crazy. Like he's a wacky guy, but he has his roles where like he's good and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
But it's funny to see him play it straight. Not really enough. The song shit was boring. The shots of the dog running around were boring. I was just like checking out. So I feel like it's like 70-30 dud to spud. So I guess overall it's a dud for me.
Okay. Dogger spot. Oh. Yeah, I think it's a dud, but it's a spudly dud.
Okay.
I think. I'm maybe like a little closer to that halfway, maybe more like 60-40.
Okay.
Than 70-30. Maybe. That's definitely a lot, like, due in part to that final stretch that I was just loving. It was the opposite of, like, I feel like a lot of these the dud cup movies, like at least like the good ones, I'll say, the spuddier of the bunch, they a lot of them tend to lose me in the end. It'll be like really good, I'll be really enjoying it, and then like the last like act or whatever, I'll be like, okay, wrap this up.
Well,
but
let's go.
But no, this is like almost the complete opposite. But yeah, before that, it was just like kind of a, yeah, it was weird. It was like not well made, but it wasn't like, it wasn't torture necessarily, but also I was like feeling it was like nothing. It was a nothing. It was,
yeah.
They talk about heaven and hell, but this was purgatory for most of us, pretty much. But yeah, so that's, spudly dud. It's a, I don't know, maybe like a McDonald's French fry. Maybe that's a hot take, but like,
yeah, it's a McDonald's French. Are you not a fan of McDonald's French fries?
I guess I think they're mid.
Well,
so
everyone says this, but like you got to get hot McDonald's French fries.
Oh,
this is like you got your Big
like
Mac, you got your yeah, but it's like you're driving home, and when you get home, you're like, hell yeah, McDonald's fries, and then you're like, they're kind of warm and they're a little squishy, and it's like they were hot, which like I get after Chloe about that for some reason. It's like a pet peeve of mine, where it's like eating fries out of the bag before we get home.
Oh,
I'm like, we gotta wait till we get home. But she's right. She's totally right that's like the best that those fries are gonna be. So it's like, I'm principled, but you're right. So I don't know.
So and nobody's happy.
Yes. Yeah. What I want in a dud movie, what do I want in like a spud dud? I want some BK fries with zesty sauce. That's what I want.
Yeah.
That zesty sauce whips. I love that shit.
Yeah. These are, yeah. Also, maybe this is like an unsalted French fry.
Okay.
That could be.
There's like some of the fries in the bag have some salt, and it's for those like line reads that are incredible. Like,
yeah.
Your sensational video game, honey.
Yeah.
Where's my virtual reality CD-ROM?
You pick up the one that's, you bite into it and you're like, what am I to do now that
So contemplative.
Or I want everyone who owns a dog to be executed.
They started out really strong. He slips in dog shit, and then it's like, I want every dog owner to be killed.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's go, Quigley, let's do this. Yeah, they started out so strong.
Yeah. Speaking of slipping and shit, here's an ad read. Are we back?
Yeah, I'm thinking we're back. I saw that movie at the gym. I think I messaged you guys, John Wick.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
I was watching it, and I looked up, and I was like, I saw him getting the puppy, and I was like, no.
Oh.
Because doesn't he get another dog in, like, the second movie?
It's at the end of that one. At the tail end.
Is it a beagle as well? Is it, like, a similar type of...
it's a pit bull.
Oh, okay. Is that what they're trying... Is that the message of John Wick? Don't get no weak-ass beagle. You gotta get a big-ass dog.
It's the same message as Quigley. It's dogs can be replaced.
But I was like, great. I have to like run on the treadmill and look up and see like his dog get killed. I'm like, God damn it.
I was at a restaurant last night, and on TV they were playing Point Break. So you got Keanu and Gary Busey, and it was like when we first started watching, it was Gary Busey's death scene too. So it was very like Keanu, Gary Busey centric. Moment. It's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Okay, but so I'm currently trying to like a marathon rush through as many of the Oscar noms as I can, just so I can be, I don't know, because a lot of them are like ones that are kind of like like on my list or like nearby, and I know if I don't watch them before, I'm just not gonna watch them. So it's kind of fun to have like that motivation to watch them, to kind of be a part of the conversation, I guess. Even though, as we discussed earlier, I do not engage online. So
that's the thing about, if you want to be like a film Twitter person, you have to just be okay with being incredibly annoying and insufferable, because that's the only way you get engagement. Because like I've definitely had that thought as like, how do we get people to listen to the movie podcast? Because there's like film Twitter is like a thing, and then it's just like everyone, like once a week someone will post some take about some movie, and everyone just dog piles on them.
Yeah,
but it's like that's the name of the game. Like if you got to have those weird ass hot takes on movies, and then you get like 10K followers. But it's like, I don't want to do that. That sucks.
Yeah. We can make a TikTok and be like, "What's your McDonald's French fries, good or bad?" Like,
yeah.
Shit. But anyways, one of the movies that I checked this week, one of the best pictures, was All Quiet on the Western Front. And I'm a big fan of the original and the novel, so I revisited the book, or not the book. I read the book a long time ago, like in high school. But I revisited the original 1930, which was like the second or third Best Picture winner, actually.
Oh, okay.
That did win Best Picture when it came out. I still love the original. I'm always just like, every time I watch it, I'm really impressed by just how massive like the scope of some of the scenes are. Like not only like the battle scenes, but there's scenes where they're just like in like one of the like blown up towns, like in between a battle, and there's like, you know, troops shuffling in, or like them kind of carrying like bodies off the field, and there's like, it's like hundreds of people like in these shots just like moving in the background. Like for the 1930s, very early sound too. Like this is very, I think, technologically like impressive for the time, but even now, like it's really cool. And then you get to the battle scenes, and it's like a shitload of people just sprinting across these fields, and like explosives going off. They don't have visual effects. Like they had to like somewhat time.
It's all
Obviously they aren't like full on like, you know, dynamite, but they've got to get those effects. They had to had some sort of, you know, little
they rigged up something.
Yeah. And compared with the new one, I was more lukewarm on it because I guess if you don't know, I'm probably just gonna spoil these for people who don't know. I mean, the story itself is very old, so you know, I guess it's your fault if you don't.
Spoilers for a novel from like 1920 something.
Yeah, almost 100 years ago. I think that is past the spoiler. You know,
it's in spoiler
embargo.
Public domain. Yeah.
I've just really liked it's a big like anti-war movie. It's about this guy Paul who's in they're Germans, so it's from a side that I guess as Americans we don't see too much from the world wars. it's a World War I movie from the German side. The main character Paul is like this young kid. I'm pretty sure he's like not even an adult when he signs up, because they're like in school. They're kind of rallied, him and his classmates, to join by their teacher, and they're like, yeah, it's gonna be, patriotic and great, and we're gonna save our country and all that. And very quickly comes to like learn the horrors of war and becomes disillusioned with like his country, with the war, and eventually with life. Like in the book, it's basically like it says that he just gives up at some point. There's he witnesses a lot of like terrible shit happening, and also like everyone from his class, and then also like the people that he's met in the army just die off like one by one until he's like the last one left. And it's after like the one who he's closest with dies randomly or accidentally. Like it's near the end in the original, because the original movie is pretty close to the book. He like finds him kind of out on like this road, and then he's like, oh hey, let's go back to camp. And then like, okay, and he's walking with him, and then there's like an explosion that goes off next to him, and he's like, oh shoot, it hit my leg. He's like, one of the like it like dinged me. And so he's like, okay, I'll carry you. So he picks him up, and then there's another like little explosion off to the side, and then it like kills the guy, but like Paul doesn't even notice it. It's like another like, oh, that one almost got us too. And then he's like talking to him, and he like brings him back to camp. And then the guy's like, oh, you shouldn't even have bothered. He's dead. And he's like, no, I was just talking to him. And then he's like, oh, no, he's dead. And basically that's the point where in the book it's like, yeah, Paul he gave up after that. And then the original story ends with him. He's like on the front line, and there's like a butterfly. You might remember this. There's like a butterfly in the field, and he reaches for it, and it's like a stray sniper bullet takes him out. And I think the book says like he was glad that it was over. And so it's very, very, very anti-war. And it's funny because the lead actor from the original one, and I learned this because I have there's a TCM intro on the DVD that I have from Robert Osborne. He became a pacifist after this movie, and like very anti-war. So like he was very taken by the story of the movie, like the intention of the story. And it's funny because when World War II rolled around, he was kind of blacklisted because people were like hyper patriotic, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No, you suck. We love war. And it's funny because they gave this movie Best Picture. So it's like, do you guys not know what this is about? Because it's kind of like what he's doing. It's and now I guess the new movie has been called out. I mean, this is on Twitter, so who knows how widespread this is, because like 5 people can say something on Twitter and it's like a huge story.
Yeah.
But people are saying that it's like leftist propaganda, like anti-war propaganda. And it's like,
my god.
Well, but like war is bad though. Like it is a bad thing. And but I guess in short about the new one, I'm more talking about the old one because I really like that one. The new one I didn't resonate with as much because I don't feel like you get that. It's more about like the horrors of war, and like trust me, there's a lot of visual gore and grotesque shit that you see, like limbless bodies like hanging in trees and stuff like that. It's very brutal. It's very effective in that sense. You can watch it and be like, wow, I don't want to experience that. So in that sense, it's like an anti-war movie of being like, yep, that seems pretty fucked up. But I like the original story because like the character's journey. I mean, it's really depressing. I don't want to say like I prefer that because it's almost worse. Like getting to a point where you just give up with life. But it's all visual. It's a very pretty. I mean, again, as fucked up as the stuff that you see is, it's a very pretty movie. Very visually stunning. I think the acting is good. It's a very well-made movie, but Paul just feels like a very surface level character to me, and I don't like that. And then also how him and that last guy that I was talking about die. It's like, at least with the one guy, it's like their fault. It's not just like a random thing. Like what happens is they're stealing eggs from the farmer, and he gets shot. And it doesn't work the same for me as if it's not like, to me it's more effective that it's just a random accident that he dies. Yeah. And then Paul dies in the new one. Again, I'm saying I'm spoiling these full hand because they're in a battle. He dies in a battle. Like a random battle. But, you know, in the original one, it's like, and you could call that like too sentimental or melodramatic, but, you know, like the reaching for the butterfly thing, and then it's just like a stray bullet. And it's intended, and they make that a little more clear in this one, that the shot that kills him it's the final shot of the war, and that's why it ends with All Quiet on the Western Front, because the book I think ends with that line, because that's it. It's after that shot. It's done.
It's done. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the tendency a lot these days with movies to, I guess, try to appeal to the, I don't mean this in a degrading way, but like lowest common denominator, where it's like you watch the original and it's very poignant and it's like character driven, and like that's the message that you're supposed to get about like this anti-war movie, but they have to like punch it up for Netflix. So it's got to be, they give them like the Saving Private Ryan, like gory war scene treatment, but it's like, I'm going to go watch an adult movie with swearing and violence. That's like, that doesn't necessarily mean that doesn't make it deep. You know?
Which is funny because you think of like, because the old one is American and the new one is German, and a lot of times you think like you kind of put more stock in foreign films of being more thoughtful in that way, especially versus like, you know, golden age of Hollywood bombastic cinema like movie. But no, the original is very like pensive and thoughtful.
It's like that Simpsons joke where they're like, they try to go like, we're gonna go see an R-rated movie, like, because like they want to see like and it's like it's like Barton Fink, like, what is this? Because it's like they go into an R-rated movie thinking like, we're gonna see sex and violence and gore, and it's
that's right. But I mean, I highly recommend the old one. I stuck with my rating of an 8 on that one. I gave the new one a 6, because it was very well made, and it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't bad. It just, like I said, it just didn't resonate with me, and I was a little bummed. And also, I think I might have said this in my Letterboxd reviews if you read that. I might be repeating myself, but that like, I'm just looking at like the best picture list, and I don't know if any of them are less than like 2.5 hours. And there's so many of them, like we were talking, or Banshees might be like right around 2 hours. That might be. Like we talked about this with Everything Everywhere All at Once, that we both thought that like it could have been a little shorter. They could have trimmed up that ending, and my God, they could have done that with this. The whole, I said it ends with like that battle, and he dies in like a battle. It's like, it's like a 15-20 minute long battle, and it's like, man, you cut that out, you just end it like how the original one ends with like the stray bullet thing. It would have been around 2 hours. It would have been like a nice, I don't know, it was a bummer just because it felt really unnecessary.
How did they do the battle? Was it like slow-mo and like epic and shit?
No, it's that's what I mean. Is like the how it's done is not like annoying, or it's all very well made. The action scenes are very like brutal and intense. But I don't care about the characters as much in a way. But they do set it up as like it is just like a last ditch thing. Like basically Armistice is going to happen in 15 minutes. and their like commander is like so he's really like beat up about them losing this post, so he's like, yeah, we're gonna take that back before the war's over, so we got to go do that. And I'm like, who the fuck would do that? I'm like, no, like we just surrendered, no. But then like Paul is one of the guys like just emotionlessly like shoving other people into like battle. I'm like, okay, that kind of works. Like seeing him be like, I'm going back because I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like that kind of worked for me. But I don't know. It was a little disappointing. But
that sounds like some shit that would inspire a German version of the Emperor's Naked Army.
Yeah.
Armistice was 15 minutes and they went in to fight.
Yeah.
Who did this?
Shit. Yeah. Yeah, and
I
if you can
definitely
find
want to check out the original one.
Check out the book too. Book is good.
Sick.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of other adaptations,
yeah,
we've both been watching. I'm not caught up entirely yet. I think we're gonna watch the 3rd episode today, and then probably watch the 4th tomorrow when it airs.
Right.
But we have been watching The Last of Us, the new HBO program that I feel like, if they stick the landing, will be maybe the first video game adaptation to the silver screen, or at least a screen. Like that's good, unless you can think of other ones.
What's it called?
Super Mario Brothers.
Alone in the Dark.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, legit, like, well, we're talking more like, I guess, prestige. It's definitely on a different level than this, but I unironically love Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But that is a different kind of good.
Yeah. This is an HBO show.
Yeah.
Home box office.
And then, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at a list, and it is all stuff where, like, I like it, but it is kind of a different... Like, the other one I was thinking of was, like, Detective Pikachu. It's not, like, a good movie, but I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that, I guess.
This
are we going to count Pokemon the first movie? Because that's a good movie.
That is, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
But this is like the first time I've seen like a video game TV show where I've seen people talk about the 3rd episode and they're like, this is like the greatest episode of television I've ever seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good, but I don't like above the other two. I think it was like on the same level as those in my opinion.
I like it. I do like it, but
I like the show. Yeah, but
it's like, yeah,
3 in particular is like the best.
Because it's gay, right?
Yeah, it's hella gay.
It's got it's Nick Offerman, and it's the dude from the first season of The White Lotus.
Oh, neat.
The Frank, the guy.
I still haven't watched it yet.
The White Lotus.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the hotel guy.
Okay.
Like
it's not. I'll get to it eventually.
It's not a spoiler, but he's like the manager of the hotel that greets everyone when they come to the resort.
Oh, okay.
He's got an Australian accent in The White Lotus.
Yeah.
He's like my favorite character in the show.
Okay. Cool.
He's very much like very funny. He's great in it.
Yeah, it was a good episode. I like it. It might be my favorite episode of the show so far, but
yeah.
No, I don't know, because like like the whole episode is those two characters. It's like
really? Okay.
Joel and Ellie are at the very beginning and the very end.
Okay.
The rest of it is these two characters, and
yeah,
I do really like when shows do those one-offs.
Yeah.
My favorite being The Leftovers. The Leftovers in like each season, it has like 2 episodes usually where it diverges and it's just like, okay, this episode is gonna be out this side character. And it'll do that a couple times, and hands down those are consistently like my favorite episodes of the given seasons. Even though I love the main story of the show too, I love those one-offs. So I am a fan of these. But at least with the Leftovers, they are characters who are in the show before that. They're side characters. But Nick Offerman and this other guy haven't been in the show yet. They are like completely new characters, so I don't have that connection. So I liked it, but as I was watching it, I was still kind of like, I'm more interested in Joel and Ellie right now. I'd just rather see more of them. Personally.
Yeah, but
it was a good story.
I really like Expose, that episode of Lost that features entirely Paolo and Nikki.
Paolo and Nikki. Should I know who they are, or is that
It's a joke because it's a very famously hated episode.
Okay.
Because it's like it just out of nowhere focuses on two randos that you don't know, and it just like shows like an extended flashback of them. And then like they get buried together.
Yes.
And I think one of them's like still alive.
Yes, I do remember that. Yep, I remember that ending, and yeah. Okay. That's funny.
but yeah, going back to The Last of Us, I was like trying to find that because I wanted to get it right. Everyone's like, Paolo, that's his name, I think.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the first two episodes I felt are pretty strong. Like, I think Pedro Pascal is like perfectly casted as Joel.
Oh,
like,
yeah, he's
even
great.
just like looking at him on like the video game, it's like holy shit.
Yeah, yeah, he's great, and he's just great, just period.
Yeah. Because we just watched the second episode, so it's like the one with like the clickers, which I know some details about this game because my brother like loves it, and so I texted him about it because like I was like, hey, are you watching this? Because I know he really likes the game, and I asked him like what he thought of like the adaptation so far. And he said he was slightly nervous for how they were going to do Bill and Frank because he's like, this is kind of where shows diverge from like the source material.
Yeah, I've heard it is different. Yeah.
And it's like, but I think people really like it because I think they're like, oh, it's kind of like Better Call Saul, where Better Call Saul like recontextualizes stuff in Breaking Bad.
Oh, sure, okay.
So I think people are saying like they're
okay. That's cool.
Because like I saw a clip from the game where there's like an offhand line where Bill was just like, "Yeah, that's Frank. He's my partner," and it's like,
but like that's it.
Did they mean it like Quigley partners or you know?
Oh yeah, they should have specified Quigley terms.
And so I do think they took some liberties, but
yeah,
you
know. the third episode is about them creating their video game together. That's the divergence.
The Last of Us is just a virtual reality CD-ROM.
Yeah.
I do think I'm going to start the game today, though. I've started it before,
nice.
like years ago, but I think it'll be kind of cool to like try to like play the game and catch up with the TV show and like kind of do it back and forth just to kind of see.
Yeah,
like,
I should do that.
Here's the source material. Here's the show. You know, it'd be kind of cool.
That's a good idea. Like how like a lot of like watching Game of Thrones got me to start reading the books, or like Harry Potter too. It'll give me to finally play the video game.
Yeah, I'm doing that currently with. So for Christmas, Chloe got me like the Library of America version of like 4 Elmore Leonard stories.
Oh, nice.
And the first 2 are Get Shorty and Rum Punch. Oh. And so I want to read Rum Punch before Wealthy plays Jackie Brown.
Nice. Does it have a Fire in the Hole?
No.
Because you should read that, and then you should watch Justified. Because Justified is a fucking great show.
Is that what it's based off of?
Yeah, it's an Elmore Leonard story.
Holy shit, that dude has so many things that...
Yeah,
because like, I've always heard of Get Shorty. I didn't realize it was based on a book. That's crazy how many of his things have been adapted.
Yeah. He's actually... I'm pretty sure he was... Because he passed away some way through the show, but he was like actually involved in the show, too.
Really?
Like, I don't know if he was like
awesome.
a direct writer. Maybe he did a couple episodes here and there. But yeah.
That rocks.
Yeah, about Last of Us. My favorite bits of the show so far, and I don't know if they're going to continue this or if it was just something they were doing for the first two, but the opening scene or the opening sequences of the first two episodes are my favorite bits so far. The TV interview from like the 60s with the guy from the Mummy
on the set of the Adam Friedland show.
Yeah. And then the bit in the second one with the doctor, the like Filipino doctor or something.
they're like, what do you suggest we do? And she's like, bombs.
Yeah,
bomb it all.
Bomb it. Yeah.
It was because it takes place. It's like in Indonesia, and I was like looking to see if I could see any of like the uniforms of those dudes from the act of killing. I was like, how accurate? Yeah, like how accurate are they gonna make this? If there's like if it's what's his face, the big fat guy.
Yeah, he should have played the doctor since it was a woman. Yeah.
Oh, but like we were watching that because it's like she goes in and like does an autopsy, and I looked over close. Like, can you imagine like getting the call back for like The Last of Us? Like, oh my god, I'm going to be an extra in The Last of Us. Oh my God. And it's like your character lay naked on a slab.
Naked corpse. Yeah.
It's like IMDb credit, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, those opening sequences are really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, but we should talk about it again when the season's over too. Be interested to see where it goes. I've heard they're intending to do the whole first game with this first season.
Oh,
supposedly
interesting.
And then they'll do the second one with the second, I guess.
Huh. I wonder if this is gonna kickstart the I think it's Naughty Dog that makes it. Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna we got to make another one now for the TV show.
They'll make a video game quicker than George R. R. Martin can write a fucking book.
Because I know like some major plot details of like the first game, and then but it's like I don't know anything about the second one. So like season 2.
Yeah, I know pretty much the entire story of the first one and like most of the major beats. The second one I know just the major beats. I know like some major character deaths.
Sure.
And then like the ending and so not as much, but yeah. Also, before we switch over to the movie, I did think of a legitimately good adaptation. It's a TV show, but Arcane is not it's like a legitimately great. It's the League of Legends one. I don't even play League of Legends. But that show...
Oh, that's right. We did talk about that, didn't we?
Yeah. That show is not ironically good. Not like a Mortal Kombat enjoyment.
Oh, okay.
Arcane is just great. Arcane is really, really good.
Okay. Okay.
So there's one at least. One legitimate, like, non-ironic enjoyment.
Man, do you think with the popularity of this show, they're going to add, like, Joel and Ellie in Fortnite?
I mean, there will be duds. That show. Oh, shit.
Yeah. If we got our own Fortnite skins, that'd be cool. What would our dances be if we had Fortnite skins? Like, what would
you and me?
What would our emotes be? Yeah.
I don't know.
Mine would be the Lynch stare.
Oh, yeah.
And it would play wind chimes by I almost said the Beastie Boys by the Beach Boys.
Oh yeah.
Yours would be yeah. There you go.
Yep. We got that at the same exact time.
And we'd both be wearing our Kohl's coats.
Yeah. Okay. This next week's movie is from 1996, directed by Stanley Tucci and Campbell Scott. Big Night is what we're gonna watch.
Big Night.
Big Night.
Big Night.
It is on Pluto TV for free, as well as
Isabella Rossellini and Ian Holm. What is going on?
Yeah. and Stanley Tucci, Tony Shalhoub, Minnie Driver,
Allison Janney.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but it's one of. I don't know if it's one of her favorite movies, but I think Kalia said that it has her favorite ending or one of her favorite endings, and I think that's why I threw it in because I'm been interested to check it out. So yeah, it's for free on Pluto or for rent on YouTube, Google, Amazon, etc. So check that out on one of those if you don't want to be spoiled for it before next week's episode. These episodes come out every Wednesday at 7 p.m. EST on Twitch and YouTube in video form, as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more in audio form. We also have social pages on social pages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Again, we're imploring people to check out the YouTube. That's where we're trying to direct traffic. Comment,
and then
engage.
We're gonna be on a podcast. I don't know. I don't know when it's going to air in relation to when this airs because we're like 2 weeks ahead, and we're recording on Tuesday. But we are going to be on Wings Nuts, which is a Wings themed podcast. I think they're watching every episode of Wings in order, reviewing it, and then they kind of do like they read headlines from like the day's newspaper the day that the episode aired. So it's like that's kind of their twist, but we are going to be on the Wings Nuts podcast. I don't know when that's going to air. Just watch this space, we'll tell you.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think they're going to come on here too. I think they'd be interested in coming on here, so might be a little collab.
A little crossover, yeah.
A little crossover.
Okay. With all that said, then
You're knuckle deep in that Eevee.
I my little cap thing, I pushed it through.
Oh, so it's in there.
It's in there.
No.
Amongst all the slips. Yeah, with all that said out of the way, I don't know. I don't know what am I to do?
What are we to do?
TJ, aka J Spot Jack Cheese, and with me as always.
As always, I'm gonna go watch some VR porn on my prized virtual reality CD-ROM.
Nice.
AKA Nick, AKA Dr. Funk on Twitch.
Bye-bye.
I will tear out your endocrine system.